everybody. This is Rachel Caine, and I'm back with my third vlog about Ink and Bone. Only today, I'm not going to talk about Ink and Bone exactly. I've done a previous edition about development of the book and one about the Great Library of Alexandria. What I thought I'd do is talk to somebody else today, and that person is Marianne Follis from the Valley Ranch Library in Irving, Texas. And she's got some really interesting things to say about libraries and about the importance of libraries and books in current culture, in the world we live in today. Because I think that one of the great strengths of Ink and Bone is that we're trying to talk about how history influences development and influences modern life. And I'm telling it through an alternate history, but Marianne's going to tell you a little bit about how it actually impacts us right now today. Hi, this is Rachel Caine, and I'm here with Marianne Follis from the Valley Ranch Library in Irving, Texas. And we're going to be talking about libraries and books and all of that good stuff, as well as the launch of Ink and Bone. We're going to be doing a launch event here at this library. What's the date?
July 23rd.
July 23rd, 7 p.m. You heard it here first. It's going to be great. Shanna Swenson's also going to join us.
Excited about that.
And it's going to be a good time. You should come out. There might be cake.
There will be cake.
See, cake.
Cupcakes, actually.
So in this world of digital everything and the internet and everybody reading digitally or trying to read digitally, what importance do libraries still have in people's lives?
One of them is as a meeting place. The libraries are really community hubs. This library is an incredibly well-used library. We have about between 1,000 to 1,500 people that walk through our gates every day. So you can't really say that libraries are not needed when this many people need this library. Also, we check out about 45,000 items a month. That's a lot of books. So when you say that people are doing things online and they're doing ebooks, that's not what our statistics show. So that's one thing. We're still a very relevant place. We still have very relevant material. But the other thing is you have the personal connection. Now, I'm here to tell you I read a lot of books. I don't love everything. You know, that doesn't mean that you're not going to love it. So when you have an actual person, and this is my job, and this is my passion and my vocation, my true calling, I can steer you to the right book for you. That's an important thing, I think.
You are the book whisperer.
I am the book whisperer.
Excellent.
I can match people to the right book, and that's not something that everyone can do. So what it means is I read widely. Like, I read things that I love, I read things that I don't love, but when you come in and say, this is really my genre, and I'm like, okay, I read this, you might like it, what's the last book that you read? This really reminds me of that. And that's what you can get from a real person that you can't get online. There's a lot of studies that show that people retain information more and enjoy information more when they read it on the page. And that's not to say that there's not a place for ebooks. There is. But the other thing is that people assume that everyone has access to ebooks and that technology. And the honest truth is that they don't. There is really a great big divide between the haves and have-nots, and the library can help bridge that.
So Marianne, this is really interesting, and I got to say, the statistics that you're citing about how many people come in and how many items are checked out are amazing to me, because I think that we have a false impression just from the outside that somehow libraries are dying. They're not, are they?
They're not at all.
And what do you see in the teen area?
It's really interesting. Teens these days are so busy, and they're so overbooked, especially this area. We have a lot of really academically motivated children. So a lot of times I don't see them as much during the school year. I see them here using the space to study and to do research, and that's wonderful too. Mm-hmm. And they try to sneak in some fiction, you know, periodically. But my true traffic, for me at least, comes during the summer. And during the summer, we are just, I go over and I do some reader's advisory, and I'm like, oh, here's a really good book. Oh, it's checked out. Here's a really good book. It's checked out. So the thing is, people are checking out our books, and they are spreading the word, and word of mouth is really wonderful, and they're just really sharing the titles that they love, and the books are flying off the shelf. it's a wonderful thing. I think we're actually in a golden age for YA literature. For my adult readers too, I say some of the best writers I know are writing for YA.
I think that one of the great, powerful things that books do for us is it allows us to experience things that are outside of our experience. So it allows us to have these conversations because we've been introduced to ideas that we would not normally be introduced to.
Right.
And that to me is the most powerful thing that fiction does.
With my teen volunteers here, we talk about books and we share books, and we have a teen discussion group here, and I gave it to them, and it was about suicide, and it really kind of hit home for my teen because she recently lost somebody, and I think that's the beauty of books. I mean, they serve as discussion point. It's not something that would have just randomly come up in conversation between the two of us, but because we had this book that served as a catalyst for conversation, that served as a bridge between my experience and her experience and the author's words. And I think that's really powerful. And I think that people trivialize that. But see, I'm getting actually emotional just thinking about it. But it's really important to have these words, and like even me right now trying to discuss it, I don't have the proper words to do it, but that author did. And that's the most important thing that books do. As much as it's a solitary activity, it's something that brings a community together, the community of readers, the community of teens, the community of authors and readers, and it's just a wonderful, magical thing, something that you can't have on Netflix or on YouTube. And I think it's the magic of books.